I am so proud of so many of y'all that have tried underpainting using our duo of concealers, but I want to encourage you to take it a step further. Most of you are still underdoing your underpainting. I want to challenge you to screenshot my face just like this, and then when you apply your pattern of underpainting, I want you to take a picture of yourself and compare them side to side and see if the lines line up on top of the cheekbones, at the sides of the forehead, and the same amounts. So you should see these dark brown swatches of product, and then you should also see this very continuous white block on either side of the nose instead of just a few little stripes. And you really want to improve the forehead and chin area if you want to bring those areas forward. Some of you don't need to do that, so you can skip that if necessary. Because underpainting goes underneath foundation, it really has to be strong. And there is a little part of your brain that is telling you to hold back, not to do anything crazy. You don't want to look in the mirror and see a big fat mess. You're afraid that you're going to blend it badly. You really can't mess this up, especially if you're practicing when it doesn't matter. So let's blend this out and put the foundation on top of it and see how it works out. I'm going to start with the dark concealer. Of course, the doorbell rings when I look like this. Of course. Okay, let's continue blending. And I probably could have gone a little bit bolder on this. This is so easy to fix if you go too big or you go too small. You can obviously just add more, but if you go with too much and you feel like it's just not working, just take your brush, wipe it off on a towel or a makeup wipe, and then go right back to it, or just switch to the other end of the brush, and that will absorb just the littlest bit of product. This brush does not hold on to a lot of product, but you can control this pretty easily. You want to make sure that you really wipe off your tip of the dark concealer first so that you have total control. But you might be wiping off too much. I'm just encouraging you to take it a little bit further. And then we're gonna go in with the Siren brush and do the highlighted parts. And then I'll do my nose and my eyes last. And this is probably the more important one for you to boost. There are just too many of you that are basically covering up all of your efforts to highlight underneath your eyes and down the nasolabial lines. And that is what I am encouraging you to do here, is just to go a little bit brighter right here and really make sure that you are applying an equal amount on both sides of the light concealer in a way that it's all touching each other. Okay, so not just individual little stripes, but a very solid stack of stripes of that product going right down here, because that is a very delicate color. It's very light and it can be covered by the foundation very easily, and you really want it to peek through the foundation and brighten up your face in that area. It's very feminizing and definitely worth the little bit of extra work just to make sure that you're really pushing that boundary a little bit. So here's what it looks like before we go in with foundation. It's obviously very solid darkness around the edges. If you're not seeing that, if you're staying on the shy side, just push it a little bit further, and then we've got very obvious brightness right here. So it should be a little over the top, and then we're going to go right in with 4 stripes on either side. If you've only been doing 3, push it to 4. And if you end up not liking this, great, then you have made an educated decision to go back to doing it the way that you did like it. But staying on the fearful side and never pushing that boundary is probably not a good idea, because I'm telling you, you're probably going to love it when you take things just a little bit further. So you need to give yourself permission and have that date with yourself where you are sitting down in front of some really good LED lighting and not just putting it on in your bathroom, leaning over your counter, and really give yourself an opportunity to push yourself to a new level of makeup. So now that that whole process looks completely natural. It looks like my skin. It's very difficult to tell where the darkening stops and starts and where the highlighting stops and starts. It just looks completely natural. And now we're ready to go in with the other part of our custom complexion bundle, which is our cool matte powder. My original favorite product. This powder has magic powers, and you go down and then back up and then lift up and take it out to the side. You want to keep your cheek free of powder so that your blush sits really nice and shiny right there. And you want just the mattified effect right down the nasolabial lines and right in the corner of the eye. That's where it is most important. And then we'll put a little bit here, and anywhere that you tend to get sweaty or oily, the powder, the leftovers of the powder can really be helpful in those areas. If you haven't used a triangle sponge yet, put that on your grocery list or your list to go to the drugstore. One of these is really going to change the game with your powder. It's going to apply a little bit more product in a very targeted area where a brush is going to disperse it quite a bit. And I definitely want you to know the difference between using a finger puff and using a brush, and then you can decide which one you like best, but you should definitely try a finger puff. They're a dime a dozen. I've put the custom complexion bundle in my TikTok shop. It now includes the Siren brush, and I also put the duo of concealers in my TikTok shop right here. If you just want to try these work great under any foundation. So if you want to keep using what you've been using and just try underpainting, you can't go wrong with this duo.